So this video starts off a little bit scatterbrained because that's just my brain doesn't know how to organize videos yet. But we're getting closer to figuring out the gist of YouTube videos. But I thought I'd film this video to let you know that the beginning of the video starts with me talking about my thoughts on the book that I just finished, which was Lessons in Chemistry, and then talking about Air Fire a little bit. But the 24-hour reading challenge doesn't actually start for me until I start on Tangled Up in You by Christina Lauren. And I kind of talked about all three together, but I thought I would just let you know that I started the challenge after I finished Lessons in Chemistry, if that makes sense. And I have my little timer, and I'll put timestamps on where I am in the challenge. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Okay. Which one did I just finish? I just finished Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmus. It was very enjoyable, quite frustrating to read, mainly because of the men in the book. Quite literally wanted to scream at them. But it was a good book, and also because I am in chemistry, it was funny because she was also a chemist, and yeah, I don't know what else. It's a pretty good book. I did get it. My water bottle spilt on it though, which is really sad. So the pages are kind of messed up, but it's okay. I would give this book, debating between a 4 and a 4.5 star. I gave it 4 stars right now, but it was pretty good. It was, it's a historical fiction. I would consider it more yeah, that or literary fiction would be what I would say too. But the dog in this was so precious and cute. And yeah, I wanted to read this book for a couple of years now, and I finally did. But here's the tea now. I'm going on to finish Air Fire next, which I'm on page 330 right now. I still have a good bit to go. But I think my plan is to finish Throne of Glass, and then I'll go back to ACOTAR, because I've read the first book, but I haven't finished the series, and I feel like I want to just finish this first, although I could change my mind about that, so we'll see. And then also I picked up this one that I really want to read this month because I love Christina Lauren. I just finished The True Love Experiment. It was pretty good. It wasn't as good as other books that I read from them. I would say it was like a 3.5 star for me. But what was the one last year's The Paradise Problem was like a 4. And then, what was the other one? Something Wilder was also a 4. I really enjoyed that. Alright guys, I have 20 hours and 44 minutes left in the 24-hour challenge. So I started it at 5-ish p.m. yesterday, and I have a feeling I'm probably going to get through I don't know, 8 hours of reading today. So theoretically I should be done by the end of the week, but we'll see. But I figured I kind of didn't really want to read a book physically, so I just wanted to listen to one. And I'm almost done with Air Fire, and I think I'm just going to listen to the audiobook and puzzle. Because your girl doesn't really want to actually read the physical book, and I just want to listen to it, and the audiobook's kind of good, so that's what we're gonna do.
Face tilted toward the ceiling. After a while, Rowan said,
Okay guys, by the end of Tuesday I had read about 2 hours. I think I ended up with about 18 hours left, but that clip got deleted. Oh, and also I just suck because Wednesday I didn't get any footage except me reading the end of Air of Fire, which means I read about roughly over 6 hours on Wednesday. Okay guys, I'm gonna give you my finished thoughts on Air of Fire since I did finish it last night. I feel like this one for me was more hyped up, and I thought I was going to enjoy it more than I did. That's not to say that I didn't enjoy it. It's hard because I feel like the next book, Queen of Shadows, is going to be so good and iconic, and I'm glad that like the universe has been expanded in this one and there's more characters that I've been introduced to, but I feel like I was really like wanting this one to be a 5-star since they've all been 4 to 4.5 stars for me so far. And I think what messed me up too is reading Assassin's Blade as my 3rd book in the series, which looking back I kind of regret that because I feel like if I would have read it first as a prequel, I wouldn't have taken such a long break starting the series back up from reading Assassin's Blade, because I think it took me like a month to actually get back into this story, and I feel like if I would have read it in chronological order, it would have flowed better for me and I wouldn't have taken such a long break from the series. So that was kind of on my part, but I do agree that reading it 3rd does give more of an impact as far as like knowing who the enemy is and like the characters and kind of the story development with that. But I still would recommend it first. That being said, I'm excited to get into Queen of Shadows. I did start like the first chapter or 2 last night. So far, this is the only book I've finished for the challenge, which is quite disappointing because I thought I was going to be reading faster than what I am. Side note, I don't know if I mentioned, I'm rating it 4 stars. But also, I would say I'm about halfway done with Tangled Up in You. So I feel like I could finish that in the next few hours or so. That one's pretty short. And then I would like to get at least halfway through another book before the challenge ends, or finishing a book if I pick a small book after that. So I don't know that I want to do Queen of Shadows for this video, purely because it's a big one and I'm not going to finish that. So I think I might end up picking Beg, Borrow, or Steal by Sarah Adams to finish off this video, but we'll see what I pick after Tangled Up in You. Alright guys, so I decided that I'm going to try to finish Tangled Up in You before I move on to another book for the challenge. I am about halfway through it, and I think I should be able to start another book before the timer runs out. So far this one's been pretty good. I would say it's not what I expected, but I do enjoy it. It is a Tangled retelling, and Tangled was one of my favorite Disney movies, so of course I'm gonna enjoy it somewhat. I'm gonna keep reading and see how far I can get in this one, and if I can start another. just stopped for now. I'm at 10 hours and 19 minutes left, and I read, I think, just over 70 pages. I'm in chapter 26 right now. But this book has really picked up for me since the last update. I think there was a few scenes that really let me connect the book with the movie, and it was just so good, and I can imagine like the movie scenes in my head while I was reading the book, and it just made me so happy because I just love the book and the movie, but the book connecting with the movie and these scenes really is doing it for me. So I'm excited about the last third of this book. I kind of feel like I know what's going to happen just because obviously I've seen the ending of the movie, but it is a little bit different, so we'll see. And I feel like I could get this book done in probably a couple hours, so I'm gonna start dinner and then also start the Queen of Shadows audiobook while I'm cooking so that I can still be reading, and hopefully that'll get me to where I don't have to read as much tomorrow. Alright guys, I just finished Tangled Up in You. Oh my gosh, I have so many thoughts, but my first thought is I love Christina Lauren, I love Tangled. This is literally my match made in heaven right here. I don't know if I would have read another Tangled retelling as perfect as this. Like, this is literally amazing. And oh my gosh, there was just so many parts. Oh, I just love this story, and I love that Christina Lauren did it because their writing is just so hilarious. Like, I was just laughing out loud, giggling, kicking my feet, blushing at this book. Like, when I tell you, I've never felt more like physical emotion come out of me reading a rom-com than with Christina Lauren's books. They just do it so good, and I'm so happy they did this retelling because they did slay it, and now I'm tempted to give this a 5-star. The thing is, I don't know if I'm giving it a 5-star because it's my match made in heaven or if it actually is objectively a 5-star, but I don't really care because it's my decision and it's my opinion, so I think I'm gonna give it a 5-star. I annotated this book so much, and I will say like the first third of it took me a little bit to get into, but once I got halfway, I really got invested and just binged through the rest of it. It was so good. Also, the plot twists in their books are always just so outlandish, and it's so funny to me, but it also just gives that much more emotion to the book. I was literally like holding my breath in the last like 30 pages of this. Keep in mind that I already know the plot twist to the story, so the fact that they gagged me that hard just goes to show how good of a book it is. That being said, it took me a little over 2 hours to finish it, so I'm at about 6.5 hours left. However, it is almost 11 o'clock. So I'm gonna have to finish tomorrow, unfortunately, but that means we get to either work on Queen of Shadows or pick a new book to see if I can binge read it in 6.5 hours. But tonight, that is all. Good morning, guys. It is Friday, which means it's day 4 of the reading challenge. Last night you saw me review Tangled Up in You, and obviously I loved it. I will be rereading this at some point, but it just hit really hard for me, and yeah, I'm gonna give it a 5 stars. But I have about 6 hours and 18 minutes left on the challenge. I read a little bit of Queen of Shadows last night before bed, but I'm going on a girls trip today, so I don't know that I'm going to read the rest of the challenge today. I'll probably have to finish tomorrow. But when I come back home, we'll see if I can finish at least like half of the time left. Alright guys, sorry if you can hear my dishwasher, it's running in the back. But I wanted to give you an update, where's my book, on the reading challenge. It is currently Sunday, and sadly I was not able to finish Friday or Saturday, but we're gonna finish tonight, don't you worry. We only have about like 3.5 hours left, and I decided instead of picking up Queen of Shadows for the rest of the challenge, I switched over to Beg, Borrow, or Steal by Sarah Adams. And so far, I love this book. It is already very funny with both the main characters, Emily and Jack. And they're just, I forgot that I love this world so much too, because it reminds me of Gilmore Girls, because it's like small town, like the brother has like a pie shop, like Luke's Diner in a way, and it's just so reminiscent of that. And then also it's just so gossipy, which I love. This one also reminds me of the third book in the Rebel Blue Ranch series with Gus and Teddy, because a lot of the first half of the book is just them bantering, and I love it. So I am feeling pretty good about this one so far, and I'm only about like 60 pages in, but I think I could probably get at least another 100 pages in before the challenge is over, so we'll see. Also, I'm thinking of doing a full recap of all the books that I read in this challenge at the very end. Alright, you guys, I have finally finished the 24-hour reading challenge, and I'm very happy that I did it. I thought I was going to finish earlier, obviously, from the footage, but that's alright. Of course, my SD card is full now that I was trying to finish that clip. But anyways, I was saying that I wanted to give a quick rundown of each book I read in this video, as well as the final thoughts and rankings that I have for each of them. So I started the video finishing Heir of Fire, and I read most of this on audio, and I will say it did let me down a little bit, and I think that's mainly because audiobooks for me have to be really good for me to stay engaged in what's actually happening with the plot and the characters. And I feel like when I was listening to it, I feel like it hit different versus if I would have actually read the whole thing. So I one day might go back and reread this book just to see how my feelings are different than listening to it. But I will say my rating is still a 4-star. I think over time though, it might turn into a 3-star. Just because I've already started the next book in the series, and I feel like that one's definitely going to be at least a 4, if not a 5-star. And I also read Tangled Up in You by Christina Lauren in this video. I knew what this book was going to be, and it gave me that. I just love the combination of Christina Lauren writing the Tangled retelling, purely because those are like quite literally my favorite things on earth. That's a little dramatic, but not really, because I love both of them. But it just gave me what it needed to give, and I obviously give it a 5-star. All right, and then I went on to start Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas. In this video, I only got about 60 pages in before I realized this book is gonna be way too heavy to read physically, so I have it on my Kindle, and I think I'm just gonna finish it on my Kindle. But I also wanted to see if I could knock out a shorter book in this video before it ended, so I ended up also starting Beg, Borrow, or Steal by Sarah J. Maas, and I did get about halfway, about 150 pages in this one. So I feel like both of these are going to be very highly rated for me. I'll probably talk about them in another video, but for now they're both unfinished and I don't have a ranking for them, but just know that I am enjoying both of these stories. Okay, I just watched that clip back. I did say Sarah J. Maas for Beg, Borrow, or Steal. I meant Sarah Adams, obviously. Anyways, I'm gonna finish this video because I'm tired and it's late. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will be making more book content in the future. I have some ideas. That's it for this one, but I hope to see you guys soon, and thank you for watching.